Hello guys, it's Nym and welcome back to a new series on my channel. I have thought about this for a long while. I mean like 2 or 3 months if I should do this or not on my channel. But I'm a bit worn out with Sims and I wanted something else on my channel as well. And instead of making extra Planet Zoo videos, I decided to embark on Planet Coaster. Now, I've had Planet Coaster for a while now. I bought it together with Planet Zoo when it was on sale. I never actually played it. I started playing this game 2 days ago, I believe it was. And I'm absolutely in love with it. I've watched a lot of videos about Planet Coaster, knowing exactly what all the controls are. Luckily, they're very similar to Planet Zoo. And also very different in other aspects. But you know what? It is what it is. So, welcome to my first and ever theme park. At the moment, I don't have a name yet for this theme park. You will probably know what it is because I will put it in the title. After doing this voiceover, I will think very hard on a name. It's just very difficult because, you know, same with zoos or with naming Sims. It's something that will be there forever and I want it to be actual good. So, yeah. The thing that I did find out about Planet Coaster and the difference with Planet Zoo is that Planet Zoo has a lot more terrain paint options. I like the terrain better, also like the rocks better in Planet Zoo. But then again, you know, Planet Coaster is a bit older, so it is what it is. And that's it, so it doesn't really matter. Anywho, I'm going to continue my introduction now. So thank you guys very much for watching this. It has been announced on Twitter, on YouTube, on Discord, like everywhere, so I hope that you saw it somewhere, or maybe just a browsing function on YouTube, and I welcome you to my new theme park. It is going to be a complete fantasy theme park, and I know a lot of people have done that before, but I am sure I'm going to give it a little bit of a twist, mostly because I have no clue what other people actually build. I just watched the channel 5 Gaming on YouTube, and they do a lot of tours on theme parks, so I had a good look at what objects people use for everything, because there are so many objects in this game, like it's ridiculous. I have like all the packs, like it's completely complete, but what the heck, there are so many build and buy objects. It's literally insane. And then sometimes they are in the scenery, sometimes they're in the building, and I don't really know why some of them are in scenery and why some of them are in building, but you know what, we'll figure it out. It's all fine, it doesn't really matter. We are obviously making everything custom, so just so you know that. So before I actually started building this, I had I created a blueprint. Well, I say blueprint, is more like a drawing of what I wanted the entrance to look like. So we are going to make this big rock on the side, and then we are going to make a castle next to it, and the castle will actually be our entrance. The castle will also be the place where you can buy tickets and other foodstuffs. There will be fountains. And I have to say, like, here's a picture, by the way, of the design that I made, just there in screen somewhere at the moment. Hopefully I remember. I probably will this time, and otherwise I'm very sorry if I didn't remember. And I actually think that in the end I came really close to what I actually designed, so I'm really happy with that, and I'm definitely going to continue like drawing like that for my other things that I want to create. I noticed that it helps a lot, because otherwise I'm just building and I don't really know what the heck I'm doing. And if I have like a reference or like a route that I want to go, like, oh wait, I want to build a castle, so I'm gonna need towers, I'm gonna need these types of bricks. It's a lot easier for me than just deciding, oh yeah, I want to build something, and then go into the build and buy catalog and then be like, yeah, I really don't know what I want to build. So that's always a little bit difficult. But before we embark on this giant castle, we are actually going to finish decorating this giant cave, which is actually here on the side. Now, this cave doesn't really have any purpose besides looking pretty, which I think it actually really does. Maybe in the lore I can like create that. I want to make some kind of lore for this park. I'm not quite sure yet what, so don't pin me on that. And here we are embarking on our first path. And naturally we are going to lead that pathway because it did not at all sync up with the castle. And here we are building the castle. Now, there's going to be a lot of cutting in here, because there's a lot of me scrolling down the catalog, getting different build objects and looking at them. And let's be fair, no one is interested in that. Okay, just you're not. It's fine. I wouldn't be interested in that either. So yeah. And here I was like, I didn't really know how to start building a castle because I never actually built a castle. Even in Planet Zoo, I rarely built in Planet Zoo because I don't really understand it. But thanks, I'm hoping that like thanks to Planet Coaster, my understanding of building will be a lot better. And like, I know that's my first video on Planet Coaster and I haven't really played it ever, but I'm really proud of like the outcome of this castle. And I can say like with confidence that I will probably be a better builder in Planet Zoo as well now. So let's hope that. I also noticed that the landscaping is not that much in this game. So we have to make do with what we have, and I'm sure we'll manage. Plus almost everything is like recolorable, which I absolutely love. And you will see that in the end of this video there are so many flowers with this castle, and so many of them are just colored differently, and I absolutely love it. So here we are making the first base of the castle. Instead of building the entire base version and going over with doors and windows, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to finish and complete one side of the castle, and then I'm going to look at the other sides of the castle. Which in the end was actually a lot easier, because then I could just copy and paste towers, for example. Because that's a thing you see a lot in castles. The architecture and the way that a castle is actually built up is quite similar everywhere. It's very rare that you have like a castle which is completely different on every side. So naturally our castle is going to be very much the same style, which I feel like is pretty logical. And we are going to use the pink roofs because I love pink. I was thinking of, I actually don't really, can you recolor walls? Because if you could, that'd be awesome. Didn't really pay attention to that, because otherwise I would make everything pink and purple. I mean, it's like my favorite colors, so yeah. Also, that's one downside of Planet Coaster, and maybe that's just me, but I feel like the Planet Coaster team, they forgot to make some of the roof pieces. For example, there is literally not a single piece in the game which I can use to fill in the gap between the gabled roofs. In the end, I just used wooden beams and I did it like that, but that's very heavy on your piece count. Like, this entire castle came close to almost 800 or 900 items. That's ridiculous. I mean, like, it's really ridiculous. I mean, like, it is what it is, and if it is like that, that'd be great, but I feel like I'm just missing something in the catalog. And maybe it's me just completely not seeing it, or maybe it's just not there, so if any of you guys know and could tell me, that'd be great. I mean, I could just Google it, but I don't want to. And I am absolutely in love with all the items here. You have so many different like filters. You can filter on fairy tale, on pirate, on science fiction, on western. I love that. Like, fairy tale is absolutely my kind of build and buy. Same with science fiction. I love science fiction. Absolutely love it. And maybe I will incorporate some science fiction-y items in this theme park. I'm not quite sure yet. But we are definitely starting off with a fantasy theme park. And I'm really excited for it. In the end, we are actually going to have a few shops. And in the front here, we are going to have the ticket booths, which in the end actually work out quite nice. And here we are making sure that you can actually walk on there. And we are going to place a, I'm not quite sure if it is an animatronic, but like the statue of the lady princess. Obviously princesses are female, but you know, of the princess. I think she might be one of the, what do you call it? Not sponsors, mascots of Planet Coaster, but I'm absolutely not sure. So don't blame me if I got it wrong. Just please don't. And here we are starting off on the second bit of our castle. And this was quite difficult to build, and I just gave up. In the meantime, I was like, you know what, I will continue with that later. And I wanted to make this hanging bridge. No, not a hanging bridge. I I don't know how to call it in English. I know it's in Dutch. I don't know what to call it in English. You know those gates which are metal and you can just drop down so you can make sure that no one actually enters your castle? That is what we are going to create here. And I'm actually, like the thing is, I still don't know half the pieces that are in this game. Like logical, I just played it for 2 hours. But I knew that in Planet Zoo you have like this little metal rods, and I was like, well, I could basically use that. And then I went looking for them, and I realized, yeah, I'm in Planet Coaster. I'm not in Planet Zoo. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult than that. So I gave up on that for now. And we are just continuing the other side of the castle. In the end, we are going to come back to that once I realize what to look for. But now we are just going to build the second part of our castle, which is going to be actually quite similar to the right side of the castle. And I love how simple it is to like multi-select items. I feel like in Planet Zoo I messed it up quite a lot, but in Planet Coaster it's actually a lot easier for me. And that's probably just me. Like, most definitely just me. And our castle will consist of, in the end, of 5 towers and 3 like side buildings. I will call these like the side build, like the buildings, just because they're not really main buildings. Actually, I guess like this building is the main building because it's the biggest. I guess. Just guessing though. And it will, and the other part that we are building like on connected to the left one will be the stables. At least what I imagine to be the stables, but like they have staff facilities in there, hidden obviously. With the sign staff only, don't enter. And I hope that the guests don't actually enter, because I don't know if I overlooked it, but I do believe you don't have any path for staff. Or maybe I just wasn't looking very like carefully. That's also a possibility, and that's a very likely possibility, because I tend to not see things that are very obvious. But you know what? That's just who I am. So here we are adding the 3rd tower. And I have to say, I absolutely love it. I love the way this comes together. It really reminds me of a castle in the Netherlands. And it kind of reminds me of Kasteel Ten Haar, which is Castle Ten Haar. I wouldn't literally translate that because, you know, that's really weird. But it's a really nice castle, and just the way that it looks pretty much reminds me of it. I have been there like once when I was a kid, and now I'm just looking back at it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably where the inspiration came from when I made the drawing. I'm guessing. Also, I found these little roof pieces. They are so cute and they really like come together. And at this point it started to remind me of the castle of Princess Peach in Mario. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to have a Mario themed theme park yet. Maybe someday, but definitely not today. I'm not up for that. Even though I love Mario, I just got a Switch. Yeah, like, you know me, this is my voiceover. I talk about the build for like 5 seconds and then I move on to a podcast about my life. So I got a Switch last week. I bought it for myself. I was like, you know what, I deserve this. I am dying to play Mario. I absolutely love Mario. I have played it since I got a Nintendo, no, just a Nintendo DS, yeah. I got that when I was 10. I was in the 7th grade. Was I? I was 10, so yeah, probably was. Just bear in mind, grades are different here in the Netherlands than they are in other countries, so. And, I used to play Mario Kart all the time and Mario Super Bros. Love it. So then obviously my Nintendo DS, it broke because it was very old. I still have it though, but it won't start up anymore, unfortunately. And I used to play Sims 2 Castaway on that as well. Memories. Anyway, so last week I bought a Switch. And it worked perfect. I had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Amazing game. If you have a Switch and you don't have Mario Kart, get it. I mean, like, it's great. And unfortunately my Switch broke after 2 days. The screen just wouldn't turn on anymore, which was really weird. So I went to like the support Discord for the Switch. I was like, you know what, it's gonna be easy fix probably. Turns out the screen just completely broke, so I returned it to the store and then I got a new one. But unfortunately, like, this is really, really stupid. I, by accident, left my Super Mario, oh, it's not Super Mario, like my Mario Kart game inside of my Switch. So I lost my game. I think, like they said that they were gonna look for it and they were gonna send it back to me, which I really hope they do because I really want my game back. But then obviously I bought Super Mario Bros. 2, which I used to play as a kid as well, and I absolutely love it. And I still get as frustrated as I did when I was a kid, because then, you know, suddenly there is this weird mushroom like sprouting up out of nowhere and it kills you. It still annoys me. I can't help it. I'm still annoyed by it. I can't handle it. It's just really, really, really annoying. Anywho. So, yeah, that was my story of the Switch. Luckily, I do have a Switch now, so I can play it again, which I absolutely love. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Like, I played whenever I'm home from work, I just start up my Switch now. Oh, just like the old days. Only then I was allowed to bring my Nintendo DS to work, well, not to work, to school. And now obviously I can't because I'm the teacher. So I can't just go play video games while I'm actually supposed to teach. Unfortunately. If I could, I would. But I can't, so I shan't. Ooh, yes. Look, this is the castle by night view, which I feel like is absolutely dreamy. Like those, we are using those torches, and they look so perfect, and it gives this castle a real, I don't want to say spooky look, but this really old vibe. And I'm absolutely in love with it. And in the end, we are going to add a little bit more when we are further on with the castle build. We are gonna add a lot of details, so like I skipped over some of the details because there were just so many. Also, I found out that by pressing Z you actually get kind of straight paths, which is amazing because I never really knew that. I wonder if it works like that in Planet Zoo as well. I should try that. I hope that it does. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's one downside of Planet Coaster, the waterfall effects. They're not really good. Or maybe I just don't understand them yet, that's also a very likely possibility. But I love the ones in Planet Zoo way more, they look way more natural to me. Which maybe is kind of obvious because Planet Zoo is only a year old and Planet Coaster, I believe, is 6 years old. I believe it came out in 2014. Not quite sure, that's what I think. Actually, it says Planet Coaster was 2014, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 2014. So here we are landscaping some more of the actual builds. And I figured out that usually in Planet Zoo, I landscape first and then I build. And I can't do that in Planet Coaster because I'm not exactly sure how big everything is going to work out. And if I landscape first, then I have to evolve around my landscaping. And that's actually quite difficult in Planet Coaster. So in Planet Coaster, I have to build first and then landscape, which is very, like, against my nature. I never do it like that. Same with The Sims. I build the shell first and then I landscape and then I, like, perfect the shell. I can't do that here, which is kind of weird. First I have to build everything and then detail it and then I can, like, do landscaping, which is really against my nature. But at the other point, like, it is really good because then at least I do something different and I don't get burned out with this game. Not that I'm burned out with Planet Zoo, like, not at all. I love Planet Zoo. But I feel like that's because I got into the Planet game a little late. Same with Planet Coaster. It's been out for like 6 years and I only now just am playing it. And Planet Zoo has been out a year and I started playing it in, I believe it was March, because then I finally got my kid's computer and I could finally run it. Like, I had it in January because I bought it for my birthday. And my computer wasn't really that good, so obviously it wouldn't, like, work on it, and it was very laggy and annoying. And there's one thing I can't handle, it's laggy games. I physically cannot handle that. It's so aching and annoying for me. So what we're doing now, we are perfecting the final touches. We are adding some smoke to make it look really fantasy-like and, you know, kind of mystic. Like you're entering a complete new world. And also I'm checking out a lot of the effects because it's all new to me. And I found this really ridiculously large fountain. So we are adding them, and then we are adding some smaller ones in here. And we're just putting them in the water, and I feel like it actually absolutely looks so pretty, really fantasy castle-like. Like not like Disney, because I particularly didn't want to build anything Disney related, even though I love Disney. I wanted to make my own inspiration and my own things. And here we are gonna put some burnt embers in the rock as well, just to make sure that it looks, I don't want to say natural, but like really mystical. You see like the sparkles, like maybe there's some gold treasure hidden in there. Who knows? You will never know now. And right now we are just doing up some finishing touches on the castle, like adding some flags, adding this giant banner in a minute as well. Also these flags, we're adding them right near the bridge, making sure they both face the same direction, like kind of the same direction because of the wind. And then this giant banner, which is so big, but I'm absolutely in love with it, and I feel like it really suits the castle. And now we are adding some more trims on the castle, just to make sure that it looks complete. And I know a lot of people say that, and in the end I feel like it does really make it look complete. You know, just these trims all around, because you have the trims already on the tower, so why wouldn't you have them anywhere else? But you know, that's how I feel about it. And we are gonna copy and paste them over onto the other buildings, but naturally I didn't put that in this video, because you know, you have seen a lot of copy and pasting already. You don't need to see more. You will see the end result in the end cinematics and in the cinematics at the beginning. So here we are adding the third and final part of the castle. We are adding the stables, which are actually going to be staff facility. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out in the end. Like, it's not going to be as tall as the other buildings, but it doesn't need to be. We are going to add another gate in here, you know, to make it exciting, and a gate with a falling fence as well. Now, just to make sure that it's actually, you know, they're cohesive and it looks the same. And here again, you know, copy and pasting over, which is, thank goodness we have that option in game. Like, imagine if you didn't have copy and paste and then you had to do every single item every single time. That would be just, no, that'd be too much for me. Then I would probably not be playing this game. So here we are making this, I still don't know what to call it, like the gate that falls down. How do you call it? I'm not sure. Falling down gate? I'm pretty sure that the name is very, very obvious. And after I didn't do this voiceover, I will like look it up. And I'll be like, oh yeah, naturally. Of course it's called like that. What the heck? How didn't I realize? And this gate is also going to be copied over to the other side. But this gate is going to have only one trigger. So with this trigger, both gates will go down. So you don't want to be in the middle of that. Just bear that in mind, you know. And now the only thing that was left to do for us is decorate this building. And we are going to copy and paste some more towers. I mean, I say like copy and pasting, but we're going to make some more towers. Just because the castle didn't look completely finished right now. I'm like, it looks pretty blunt still. Especially from the back. I mean, like the front was good. And I'm really happy with how the front looks. But the back, it's not special enough. It's quite boring and I want it to be special. I mean, if you're going to build a castle, then like build it good. That's what I always say. If you're going to build one, make sure it's good. Make sure it's well organized. Make sure it's there. You know, I was thinking of maybe building a hedge maze next to the castle for the little children. But I will have to see how everything goes. It's not incorporated in this build at least. Don't worry guys, because next episode we are going to actually make a coaster. I'm not quite sure what yet, but we are going to do one. I'm going to have a look in game and see what all the items are, see what the coasters are, see how you actually build a coaster, because I didn't look that up and I never built one, you know, so that's going to be fun. And because like on this part of the building there's stables, we are going to use some pretty rundown doors. You know, because they're stables, they're not well looked after, they're quite big doors as well. You know, and just in my mind it felt pretty natural that you would have like these bit of broken doors in an old castle, at least in the stable area. I do believe that in a minute we are going to add some more details to this, or we are gonna go over to landscaping. I can't remember quite. We're just gonna have a look at it in night mode though, make sure everything's correct. And here we are doing some landscaping. Now I didn't put this in the video because, you know, otherwise the video would be very long. I mean, it's already like half an hour, which is quite long. But to be honest, I did have like almost 3 hours of footage and I cut it down to 30 minutes, so that's pretty good, even if I say so myself. But as you can see, me like getting these tulips from an area where we have a lot of plants. I basically just put all of the plants here that I want to use, and I gave them some different color variations just to make sure that it looks really nice. Now this bush that we are placing down right now, it doesn't look that nice, but we are going to change it in a bit, so don't worry. And here we are just copying over some flowers and making sure that the inside of the castle looks nice as well, because you can't have an outside of the castle that is extremely pretty and detailed and then don't have anything in the inside. I mean, that'd be weird. Just admit it, that'd be freaking weird. And here again, you know, we had a lot of colors, but we didn't have yellow, and I feel like the yellow really added some spark to all these flowers, and just copying over a bit, not everything. And I believe we are adding some more. Yes, these are the red bushes. Red and blue are like my favorite colors, but in game I love red way more. And especially feel like these giant red bushes, they add so much character to this build. And I just absolutely love the way it looks. I feel like it's really natural. Now I do believe that after we are placing down these trees, we are adding some flowers. And then we are gonna come to the end. So guys, I want to thank you guys for watching and sticking with me during this video. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment and subscribe so we can make our own little YouTube community and we can grow as a small family, as a matter of say. And I hope that you guys have a very good morning, afternoon or evening whenever you are watching this. And I will hope to see you on the next video. Bye guys.